I think design trends are stupid. I'm just gonna. Sorry, y'all. I don't buy it. Like it's it makes great magazine articles.
Right.
Some people are all about a trend. If that's you, I ain't your designer.
Ooh. Welcome to an episode on the Golden Sheep Podcast. Who are you?
Cara Hobbs.
Hey, where were you born and where do you live now?
I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and now I live in Austin, Texas, in the Hill Country area.
Hey, and how old are you?
I'm 38.
What is your profession, Cara Hobbs?
I'm an interior designer, but that's not always been my profession.
Yeah. So to kick that story off, one sentence. How did you get here?
A lot of coffee and a lot of listening.
Can we make note of that huge sigh that you let out before answering that question?
Yeah, it's loaded, right?
Yeah.
So aside from the coffee, I'll focus on the listening part. And for me, it's been a journey in tuning into my intuition about who I am and what I really want, and following that. So a lot of listening to me, listening to the universe, if you will, and finding that alignment.
Well, I wanted to create a podcast channel where people can come and talk briefly about their life journey and to show people that, hey, it was not a straight path. So you said you didn't start off as an interior designer.
No.
Walk us through the serendipity.
Okay, so my degrees are liberal arts, master's in art history, and upon completing school, tried to figure out what I want to do and turned around a little bit. Followed a boy who's now a man and my husband.
Oh.
That was part of that. And then really kind of fell into fundraising, actually. So I worked in nonprofit fundraising for 12 years. And very fulfilling, very rewarding, great work. But one day realized it's not my work to do anymore. Started to build a business on the side, Cara Hobbs Design, side hustling interior design, helping friends and family, feeling that out, a spark, a fire, and after that, I was like, I need to pursue this after 12 years in another career. So made a plan to exit and shift paths and try something new.
Tell us about that spark fire moment where you thought, there is a shift here that I need to embark on.
So I think, I moved quite a bit around the country, really. And so every time I moved, I just found this great fulfillment in nesting into our new home, wherever that was. Finding ways to use what we had and add new things and create a new environment that was our home. And so I remember telling my husband, I could do this all day. I hope that I do. And then here I am.
Wow.
Doing that all day. But that kind of lit a spark in me. And then down the road, we made a baby.
That's what happens sometimes in marriage, baby making.
That occurred. And so with her arrival, it got me thinking a little harder and a little deeper about what I really wanted to do and why.
Yeah.
And she became a bigger part of that spark that turned into a fire for me, to really follow that passion and show her how, right? Because I would want to tell her, do what you love, right? What does that mean? Am I doing that? Am I showing her?
Right.
Yeah.
What were the set of emotions that you went through when you were going through this, there's a spark here, and then to actually doing it?
Oh gosh, a range.
Yeah.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're coming to terms with the fact that this is a very real change on the horizon, that, I'm at a place where staying the same while it's comfortable is also getting more painful. And the pain of that outweighed the potential pain of change, right? And we put a label on it, and maybe we think change could be hard and maybe bad in some ways, but I got over that because I decided to turn that into excitement.
Right.
And I had nerves that I was like, you know what? I need to follow this because I'm feeling the fire.
Yeah.
And kind of made that mental shift and was motivated by my daughter and my family and just becoming who I want to be, who I'm fulfilled to be, and just trusting that process.
If you're able to walk us through some of those vulnerable thoughts that you had, because change, as you said, can be intimidating.
Absolutely.
What were some of those scary thoughts, if you will, that you had?
Oh, yes, there are several. So I would say, financially, you think about making this change, taking the leap to work for yourself,
right,
and make it.
Yeah.
Supporting my family in that process. I think for me also, perhaps somewhat uniquely, some of that imposter syndrome started to creep in. I'm a self-taught interior designer, and so that's the thing I'm not proud to say, but it's certainly something different. And everybody was self-taught at something at one point in their life or their career. I've done a lot of education on my own on the side, but that's just part of uniquely who I am in this. But that was certainly a vulnerability, right?
Right.
Can I do this? Can I hang? Can I achieve?
Right.
That vision for myself. And so again, that's where you have to come back and say, remember how resilient you are, how resilient you've been, and again, trust the process. That rings true for me through this whole experience, is trust the process.
Right.
And do the right thing, work hard, make connections, trust the process.
Right. And for someone who says, okay, I have a spark, I want to do this, I'm scared, but I'm going to do this, what's my first step in going towards that fire?
Sure. So get clear on your why. I mean, that's for me just huge, right? That's what should sort of be your kindling for this fire, if you really want to take that literally. But really define that and hold true to that and keep that in your heart. Act out of, true passion and care for what it is that you want to do and why.
Right.
So I think remembering that, and then remembering all the times you were scared before to do anything on any level.
Right.
And you did it anyway. And you survived.
Right.
And you're okay. And you know what? If you learn something and it didn't go the way you envisioned, what do? You pivot. We're humans, we adapt. Right?
Right.
It's in your nature to figure it out.
Right.
So worst thing that can happen is having regrets.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And it's almost like the thing that's supposed to help us, which is our brain, is designed to help us survive, which actually almost blocks us from any change because it's supposed to be protecting us, safe zone. And also it's that walk and that dance with the brain to say, it's okay. It is scary. It is the unknown, but let's try it anyways. Because as you said, even though we're looking for this evidence of, will things be okay? Things have been okay.
Yep.
And your journey is a testament to that. Yeah. So when you look back, what are some things that you felt you didn't realize that it could be helpful in the moment, but now looking back retrospectively, you said that had to happen for me to be here?
I think having, I come back to the network of people that supported me and cheered me on in exploring this path. So the network had to be there. In my opinion, nobody is self-made. The whole self-made thing, I really hate that term. Yes, I busted my ass to get where I am. Like, I am proud of that. I have done a lot myself, but in no way is Cara Hobbs Design self-made. Wow. It is so supported and so poured into by many other people who have just, gonna get me emotional, cared with me.
Yeah.
So I just think remembering that without your people and, that support network, wouldn't have gotten here, no way.
And I think people talk about this pursuit of happiness. And I think really the shift may be the pursuit of fulfillment. Because the way you talk about your business and how it's been woven into your storybook, I see the passion in your eyes. I mean, you feel it talking about it.
I do. Yes, I agree with that. And at the end of the day, that's why we're all here, to become our best selves on this planet.
Right.
For each other.
Right.
And part of that is staying true to who you are and what you want and feeling that so that you can share that with others and they can be inspired and you can support them too.
Right. And if someone's looking for an interior designer, what are things that they should be looking for and what questions should they be asking?
Sure. So I think that chemistry between designer and client is really important. So do your homework, check out a few of them, talk to several to make sure it's the one for you, that it's a good match. It's a good fit, right? Because you're seeking a certain environment in your space, and you want to make sure that that person hears you and can deliver that because they working to understand what it is that you need. I think many designers are great at that, but it has to be the right one for you. So I think do your homework, trust the process also, I would say. Once you engage someone and you feel that's the way to go, trust that you are being heard and that they'll deliver the right thing.
So let's just say I want to redesign my living room. Mm-hmm. What are some things that you, as my designer, will consider?
Sure. So light in a space is something that, for me, is paramount and really important to pay attention to up front. Mm-hmm. I think natural light is a form of therapy, oftentimes.
Yes.
So if we can accentuate that and make the space feel alive and open and refreshing for you, if that's the vibe that we're going for, let's say. Paying attention to that, paying attention to how we're using it, right? How does it need to flow?
Right.
How does the energy need to flow? How does the traffic need to flow? So function is on the mind up front as well as aesthetics. All those pieces make a difference.
Because when I think of designing or redesigning a space, I think of furniture and accessories. Mm-hmm. Why do you start with light and not that, or even looking at the color of the wall?
That's the foundation. So everything is going to look its best when you pay attention to those fundamental elements as sort of the canvas for the design. Sometimes that happens backwards too. Mm-hmm. So for me, if someone, let's say, has a really gorgeous, maybe sentimental piece of art that they've been wanting to find the perfect home for or wall for, I love taking something like that detail and building out from there with color palette, with the rest of the forms in the space and the balance of tone here and there, whatever is happening in that piece of art to really accentuate it through light, etc. But you can build out either way, right? Mm-hmm. I just like starting with things that excite people. So I want to know what you're going to get jazzed about most in this space, what element, and let's run with that. Like, I love it. Tell me what you love.
And your eyes, as we speak about this, is just lit up. We keep using sparks and fire and light and things like that. I can clearly see it in your eyes. So I just can't wait to see what you continue doing. What are some of the examples of some work that you've done? Because you are not just limited to residential.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, so in the last year, I've definitely branched out into the commercial realm, which has been really fun. I really enjoyed working with locally owned Austin businesses who are kind of getting into their first space for the first time as a business, and being a part of that process, and sitting down with their owners and saying, how about this, and what do you think, and what excites you, what's your vision for your business, and being a part of that journey with them to help them grow as well. So that's been fun. Restaurant spaces have been a part of that experience. Studio space for creatives on the east side. So a variety, right? Really, it's been fun to just get to know Austin more in that process and feel more part of the soul of the city. And then residential is really my bread and butter, if you will. My first love.
Yeah, I'm hungry now.
But I'll continue to really take on as much residential as comes my way. I love serving people in their home spaces as well. So
definitely. And I've seen some of your work too. So if somebody wants to see more of what you do, find you, hire you, work with you, collaborate with you, all the things, how can they find Cara Hobbs?
Sure. So carahobbsdesign.com, pretty simple. My website is there. You can submit the contact form. You can follow me on Instagram at Cara_Hobbs_design. As well as reach out to me via email, Cara@carahobbsdesign.com.
Awesome. What did you want to be when you were 5 years old? What did you want to grow up as?
Oh gosh, I don't even remember that.
What were some things that you liked?
I remember wanting to be of service to people. I know that's cheesy, and there's service in every industry, right? So this is not, I'm not here to like preach about service and but I think helping people and being a comfort to people and providing relief and fulfillment and ease and joy for people, that was always something, how can I do that? And I was always a creative kid, so I think that was part of it too. Obviously I have a love of art. So I think all those things combined, but when I was 5, you know, I think I just wanted to be a good person.
Wow, I wanted to be a spy after watching Spy Kids, so...
You were a much cooler kid than
No,
me.
you were much more mature. So I asked that question because I know you outlined your major in college as liberal arts and then to doing nonprofit work and now owning your own business and doing interior design. But also even just going it way, way back, you don't ever straight out of the womb think, this is what I'm going to do.
No.
And that's the essence of life. Why do you think life is like that? Why is it unpredictable?
Because it'd be boring if it wasn't. I'm not here to be bored, are you?
Speaking to a control freak who is not that spontaneous despite doing all the things that I'm doing now. But wow, that's interesting.
Life is joy.
Life is joy.
Life is, let's find it. Let's create it. That's all.
Yeah. And people talk about joy, fulfillment, happiness, purpose. All of that cannot be found. It has to be created.
Yes.
So again, this platform is not only mine, it's ours. So it's time for question from the people. So Dr. Sun from Syracuse, New York wants to know, why do I get different pieces that are cute, but when they're all placed in the same room, it's ugly or weird?
Great question. So I think here we're coming back to why hire an interior designer for a moment. I think because you need a guide and a cohesive sense of curated foundational thinking, right?
Yeah.
For those pieces to kind of work together and fit easily in the space and be easy on the eyes.
Right.
So that's where perhaps hiring a professional comes into play.
Leave a comment, a like, an emoji, something in the situation below if you've had that, where you buy all these cute things and it's aesthetic, it's chic, and then you put it together and it just makes no sense. Been there, done that. I'm sure.
Here to help it make sense.
Yes.
That's why I'm here.
The person to make it make sense. Lori from Austin, Texas wants to know, what's a design trend?
I think design trends are stupid. I'm just gonna. Sorry, y'all. I don't buy it. Like, it's, you know, it makes great magazine articles.
Right.
Some people are all about a trend. If that's you, I ain't your designer. You know.
Ooh.
So and I don't mean that. That's just not how I. So for me, it's what do you love?
Yeah.
What is timeless for you?
Yeah,
Not the rest of the world.
Tell us more about that. Why are trends stupid for you?
To me, it's inauthentic. That's not personal. That's a trend. That's what society or the industry is saying is important.
Wow.
And that's not important to me. You're important to me. Your loves, your excitements, that's what's important to me.
Okay, now I'm tearing up. Wow, I feel so seen right now, and I don't even have anything for her to design yet. So, okay, last but not least, what is your golden sheep advice for all of us?
Oh gosh, trust the process. Just rings through my mind so often, and this is not a rehearsal, guys. Like, if you want to do it, trust yourself, do it, take the leap, no regrets. Now or never.
And you will be okay because you've been okay.
You will.
You've been okay.
Remember who you are.
Remember who you are. And once again, who are you?
Cara Hobbs with Cara Hobbs Design.
That's a wrap, folks.